Alright, finally here, episode 18 of F1 driver career. Here's a quick R&D look. After Bahrain, we made quite a few upgrades, you know. We're no longer on par with Mercedes and McLaren, but reliability issues will still persist, as you will see in the race. It's time for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, a personal favorite of mine on the real-life F1 calendar. Just looking at, why am I so synced in the seat? It's whatever. A personal favorite of mine in real-life calendar, and also a challenge to drive in the game, but I like a good challenge from time to time. You're just lifting off a bit there, can't be too aggressive. If not, you're gonna spin. It's not time trial. Tire temps do matter. It's gonna be a 32.4 going through the first sector. They're just slightly tapping the brakes, and now on the final stretch, you will see this a lot in this race, because that's where all the overtakes and where all the action is happening. So I guess this track is for DRS merchants. Now getting on the main straight, opening up our DRS in 12 meters. It's going to be a 127.9, which is only 6 thousandths off of Max Verstappen. I didn't go out for a second run, and Charles Leclerc is the fastest in Q1. Nice seeing him in Mercedes overalls. Now going into Q2, just heading into the final sector, I'm using scrub tires, which means it's more of a banker lap more than a lap to be taken seriously. So 112 at the moment. Max Verstappen, I think that's the same time he set in qualifying 1. Going through the final corner now, a bit understeery with the wheel on the final straight, on the main straight now, opening up the DRS. It is much slower than the previous lap in Q1. That's because, again, I'm on the scrub tires, and I might be eliminated, so I'm gonna go out for a second run just to be safe. And I went out at the wrongest time, encountering with traffic there. Pierre Gasly does not move aside, and that kind of puts me off there, as well as Fernando Alonso not really slowing down for me. It almost made contact there. Again, that puts me off. I spin, I lock up the fronts, and that ruined the momentum of my run. So I pretty much just have to charge the battery, putting me in an even worse position than if I just waited until everyone went out to do their final quali run. So yeah, it's whatever. I'm just gonna set a quick banker lap. It should be pretty doable considering the machinery we're in. And also we're on newer tires on the final stretch now. We're 3/10 up on our lap time. You can see we've been dropped to P9 from P7. Fernando Alonso gets into Q3. Never mind, he's out of Q2. Okay, looks like Valtteri Bottas improved. So, okay, right now I'm in, but yeah, I just crossed the line, and I think that is a P6 from me. So, yeah, we're just pretty quiet qualifying session, nothing much going on. Valtteri Bottas makes it into Q3. Good stuff, good stuff. Lewis Hamilton in P2. Again, I did not take Q2 seriously, and now for my first run of Q3, going through the first corner, trail braking a bit, lightly tapping the brakes, using the throttle, being aggressive. We can be aggressive in F123, unlike F122. Going into turn 4, I guess that was turn 4. 1, 2, okay, that's turn 4. Going through this fast technical section, you have to be really good with the throttle control right here. In fact, I think this run is only at like 400 slower than my Q1 run, which shows that their track evo is not that strong here in Saudi Arabia. A lot of understeer in the final corner. It's alright. Going on the main stretch now, it's going to be a 127.8, 4/10 off of pole position. Oh my days. Lewis Hamilton falling closely behind, and Valtteri Bottas is in P6, and look at that performance from Max Verstappen. Lewis actually gets the purple final sector, so interesting stuff. So that shows that the Ferrari has potential. And now time for the final run in Q3. going onto the main straight, passing by the STC sponsors. Now the Aramco sponsors, going down into turn 1. Will we make an improvement on our Delta? Looks like it's not going to be the case for now. There's still a lot of lap left. Well, a lot of lap left. I don't know who says that, but yeah, you can see there. We gained 2/10. Just fast forwarding, you know, later down the lap. Oh, look at that. George Russell gets into provisional front row. Now, fast forwarding into the middle sector, going into sector 3. Lewis Hamilton will cross the line right about now, and Lewis Hamilton is on provisional pole. Valtteri Bottas is in P7. I'm currently now in P5, but hopefully I have enough pace to make it a 1-2. It's not looking like the case right now, because I think we might even be slower than George Russell. We get a pretty good exit off the final corner. DRS wide open, crossing the line. It is only going to be P3. It is not a front row lockout, damn it. Okay, interesting qualifying session. Oscar Piastri's in P9. Pierre Gasly makes into P10. We're looking stronger than last weekend, but we just have to wait and see if our race pace will be just as good as our quali pace. So now, time for the race.
Welcome to one of the fastest races in the entire calendar, and while it's one of the newer races on the F1 World Tour, it's already staked its reputation as a fan favourite. It's Jeddah, and it's the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah Street Circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have the engineer, Russell, Perez, Leclerc, Bottas, Norris, Oscar Piastri, Gasly, Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Magnussen, Albon, Ocon, Joe, Hulkenberg, Tsunoda, Ricciardo, and Logan Sargent. And now it's time to head down to the track. Anthony Davidson will be sharing his insight alongside me once again today. What should we be looking out for, Ant? So, let's briefly discuss Lewis Hamilton.
Well, it was a really impressive lap in qualifying to get pole position, but are they going to be able to hold on to the lead into the first corner with so many quick starters around them? And of course, it's looking very close here today. A lot's going to be riding on those first few corners, and then the question becomes who can manage their tyres so they're in a better position to push hard towards the end.
So starting from P3, last year's Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, I started from the front row in P2. Not exactly first, but it's still a better starting position than goddamn P3. Max Verstappen starting on the soft compound tires. So you see, unlike F122, there's actually a tire variety here. But honestly, I do prefer F122's tire management. And let's give it to Crofty for a minute.
Starting grid to form up and get ready for lights out. Let's hope the race ahead today is a thrilling one that will go down as a memorable Grand Prix in the history books.
So I'm only going to be doing the one stop. I feel like the two stop is a bit way too aggressive, considering the tire wear is actually pretty good in this game. But for me, it takes a while for the tires to get up to scratch. So I prefer going long than doing small aggressive strategies. So everyone's lining up right now. Going to my onboard now. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights ahead of the drivers. And it's lights out and away we go for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. I have a pretty decent getaway. Lewis Hamilton keeping Verstappen at bay, even though Max is on the better starting tire. And Verstappen gets a good look into turn 2. Not quite. Lewis Hamilton still keeping him behind. His first pole position as a Ferrari driver. I make an aggressive move on the inside of Max Verstappen. And you can see here Pierre Alonso getting past Pierre Gasly. I'm pretty sure Gasly made it into Q3. Bottas dropped down in position. He's now in P8. Verstappen on my rear end. What is he gonna do? He gets me on the outside. I get him past on the inside. That's a defensive move right there. Ooh, we're really close to the wall. He makes contact with my car, and he is ahead on the exit of the corner. I mean, that's to be expected. He's on the soft tires, and I'm on the medium. It's a not so great start from me, but the race is long, and the softs are gonna fall off a cliff eventually, and the mediums do last longer than the soft compound tires going through the DRS detection point. No DRS yet, it's only lap number 1. And looking down behind, Pierre Gasly drops down to P12. He's on the hard tires. He looks like he's going to go long for his first stint. Can I make a move on the outside of Max Verstappen going to the final corner? Just about it? No, I don't. He pushes me wide on the exit. Russell gets a good look down the inside. Not quite. Lewis Hamilton, yeah, just flying away in P1 as I get another good look on the outside of Max, this time into turn 1. As I make a move down the inside, I broke way too late there, then giving George Russell an opportunity to find a move on the inside of both of us. That's sort of like a through goes Hamilton. And now looking up ahead, here's Checo Perez looking for an opportunity on Charles Leclerc. And what will he be able to do on the final corner? Not much. Leclerc keeps him at bay. Alonso looking for a chance to strike on Valtteri Bottas. He made 2 positions already. I think he started in P11. He dropped Piastri to P10. It's a drag race into turn 1 for Alonso and Bottas. And I get it now. I think Alonso's on the soft compound tires. Alonso, good look into turn 1. They're still side by side on the exit of the corner. And Valtteri Bottas gets ahead of Fernando Alonso in the end. Now it's time for me to strike on Valtteri Bottas. We have DRS this lap, and having DRS is a huge advantage here in Saudi Arabia. Verstappen closer to me than I am closer to Russell. What will he be able to do? He looks for a move down the inside, and he makes contact with my rear left wheel, and it looks like he's got M-plate damage. And we're going on to the main straight now. My DRS is open as I was behind Russell. And Verstappen comes into the pit as he has a broken end plate. I'm going to have to fend off Charles Leclerc now. Look at this. Alonso, Piastri, Bottas, and Sainz caught up in a battle. What will Piastri do? He gets up into P7. Not quite. Alonso maintains position. And I lost some ground to Lewis Hamilton. To George Russell, sorry, because of this guy right here. God damn it. But there's still a lot to make up in the race. It's only 1.1 seconds. It won't take a million years, but here's the replay cam. You can see there, he just turns into my rear left. I don't get it. Obviously it's the AI, but I left him enough space to go attempt an overtake, but he just turns into my rear left. That looked quite intentional. So, bye-bye Max. As we head on over, fast forwarding to lap number 5 with the view of Yuki Tsunoda trying to get a move, trying to get past Nico Hülkenberg as he's not finding an opening right here. The Toro Rosso, obviously last season, being quite slow at the start, and Yuki Tsunoda, the power unit, or it's the power unit, his engine fails on him, and he's out of the race. And I think the virtual safety car, or no, it's just going to be yellow flag. And no, the virtual safety car is getting called. Okay, I don't know if this will really affect the strategy because obviously, oh, Lewis Hamilton's out. Lewis Hamilton, oh no, he's out. Oh, my teammate's out of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Oh my, okay. So last race it was me. And now this race, it's Lewis Hamilton. And yeah, having a few setbacks to the start of the season, even though we have shown we do have the pace, but reliability, just like Red Bull in 2022, it just shows that our reliability is not there. And now time to go in to the box, switch over to the hards. The rest are going to go MMH, medium, medium, hard, but I'm going to go medium, hard, medium to have a more aggressive final stint. As you're about to go into the pit lane. Ooh, a bit of rear locking there. Yeah, thank God for the pit assist, because if I didn't have any, I would have definitely been ugly. And Charles Leclerc is holding me up. That's just brilliant. We're gonna fall back behind Sergio Perez. We're gonna fall behind Checo. So the net positions: Russell P1, Checo P2, and I'm in P3. Wow, okay. I absolutely love when 90% of the field come into the box at the same time. I can't really complain that much because I'm not the only one who had to come in. Everyone else also had a bit of setbacks. And Verstappen falls behind Oscar Piastri. So yeah, I think he's actually on the medium tires. I don't know if he has to go to the pits again, or if he's going for the hards later on, because he had to stop quite early because of contact he made with my rear left tire. And the safety car will be coming in this lap, trying to get the tires heated. I think this is good that there's a safety car, because like in F122, the tires take a long time to get properly up to scratch. I think honestly in this game it takes even longer, as right now going through the final corner, Valtteri Bottas leads into the restart. When was the last time that happened? Turkey 2021? As we're now going onto the main straight, I'm gonna give Checo a bit of a nudge. I'm pretty sure that's illegal in the current F1. And the safety car is out. It's green flags right now. And Pierre Gasly is, I guess he's going to go really long into those hard compound tires. We get past Checo Perez quite easily going into turn 1, even though he's on the better, fresher compound at the moment. But right now looking up ahead, actually not looking up ahead, there's a battle here between Norris and Perez. Norris gets past Sergio Perez. Ignore the track limits I did right about there. And looks like Gasly right now is holding up George Russell, who's a tenth behind him, but Russell is literally sniffing his rear wing. He can do a move, he can get a move done any minute, but it's really risky to attempt moves here in Saudi Arabia. So on the onboard now with George Russell, now we're going to go to the TV cameras. You can see there, I'm just following behind 6/10. That's how much time Russell has lost to me. And so yeah, he's gonna wanna have to get past Gasly as soon as possible in case I'm able to get past George Russell. You can see there Norris sticking his nose in a bit. Why can't Russell do that on Gasly? I do not know. But that did not work for Lando Norris. Now going on to the final stretch. I'm not going to use... Okay, I'm going to use my ERS. Come on. Try and get a good advantage on George Russell and on Pierre Gasly. Russell tries the inside. No, Gasly covers that off. He leaves the outside completely open. Gives me a magnificent chance into the final corner. I go slightly wide on the exit, but it's a brilliant exit. I'm about to kill two birds with one stone, getting past both George Russell and Pierre Gasly now into turn 1, outbraking Gasly. But Gasly, this is not what I wanted to happen. Gasly also lets George Russell by, and he's going to let Lando Norris by, saying he's going to lose multiple positions. This is not what I wanted to happen. I wanted Pierre to hold Russell up for a few more laps, so I can just, chill in the front. And yeah, I can see there Gasly just losing ground literally immediately. And Lando Norris right now is looking for a move. He's hunting for a move round the outside, going in to sector 2, outbraking Gasly into the corner. What a move by Lando Norris. And he did that without DRS. Next behind him is Checo Perez. And this should also be a pretty straightforward move considering the gap between both of their cars in terms of performance and as well as the tires. 10 lap old hards. What will Checo be able to do? Nothing much quite yet. He finally finds an opening, sticks his nose inside. Leclerc gets past Fernando Alonso, and he gets past Pierre Gasly. Double overtake going into the corner. And what else is going to happen right now? Alonso gets past Pierre Gasly. Gasly loses 6 positions in the span of 1 lap. George Russell goes down my inside in the final corner. Will Gasly lose any more positions? Not yet. Not in this lap, but actually a drag race to the end. Yes, he loses 1 more position. He loses 7 positions in 1 lap. I lose a position. I go for a really aggressive move. I spin. Ignore that. Ignore the flashback. But yes, I do go. Sorry, I don't go for an aggressive move on Mr. Saturday. And looking up into lap 11 now, here's Zhou Guanyu and Max Verstappen. No, actually, Gasly and Albon having a battle. Gasly continuously losing positions. And later on in the lap, it's going to be a three-way battle between Perez, Alonso, Leclerc, and the Aussie driver Oscar Piastri. Piastri finds the outside of Alonso. Alonso is just a sitting duck there, getting passed by two drivers. No, not quite. I think George Russell's the only one without DRS. But who will win this drag race? Will it be Piastri? Will it be Alonso? In the end, it's looking like Oscar Piastri, but going into the corner, Alonso seems to be keeping Piastri at bay. Not quite. Yes, he does. Yep, he gets fully ahead of Piastri, so he only loses one position. It's actually an all Mercedes power unit battle. I have to really watch through these videos before I keep on forgetting to cut out those flashbacks. Anyways, I'm really close to George Russell now, and I do have DRS. I also have battery to play with. Why not go for a move? As I'm finding one on the outside, simple outbreak. He goes really defensive, but I go really slowly. I don't really have to push him wide. Clean overtake. I get back the lead. But I'm still not 100% comfortable with these hard compound tires. As, yep, you can see there later on in the lap, George Russell will try to attempt another move. I was considering letting him by for DRS on the following straight, but real men fight with ERS. Who needs DRS? I'm driving like a 2010s driver. You know, in 2010 they didn't have DRS yet. It was only introduced in 2011. Anyways, using our ERS, our battery, to fend off from George Russell. It is working. He does get alongside though, but I'm going to do a really aggressive move down the inside. Yes, it does work. I'm going slightly wide, but looking back there, you can see Checo Perez gets ahead of Lando Norris. Charles Leclerc actually caught up to them quite a bit, and Alonso holding up Oscar Piastri there at the back, and Perez is now in P4. And Max Verstappen coming into the pits, and he's also now on the exit. This will be crucial actually, so that's not just a random shot. Anyways, on lap number 16, Perez, Leclerc, and Norris is the order who are going into the pits, seemingly trying to undercut both me and George Russell. So who will come out ahead of this one? Here's Perez, the first one to come into their pit box, and on the exit, Leclerc, quite a slow stop. Yeah, I mean, it's Mercedes, come on. And it looks like Piastri, no, Alonso will be the one coming out last. Never mind, it's Piastri. Can we have like side by side in the pit lane, like Leclerc and Verstappen in Silverstone 2019? And where will Verstappen end up? Right ahead of Lando Norris, not Oscar Piastri. Oscar Piastri is up ahead. And Guanyu Zhou, I'm pretty sure he pit as well, but he's not going to be there for long because of the performance of the Sauber. And my turn, me and George Russell to come into the box. I do not lock my rears this time round. Early optimal turn in. What's our time gonna be? It's gonna be a 2.3 second stop. That's good. George Russell staying there for a bit longer than he wanted to. And Oscar Piastri, I'm not sure what his net position is. Probably P8. Now exiting the pits. Verstappen sets the fastest lap of the race, but Sergio Perez is the one who's gonna get the lead. Will it be Perez? We're behind Fernando Alonso. We lose two positions there. Leclerc, you almost lose one to Leclerc. You almost lost the podium spot. So maybe I should have pitted a lap earlier, but again, I'm on the medium tires. There's a lot of ground to make up. Once these tires get up to pace, I am going to be extremely fast. I'm going to be flying like an Airbus A350 flying over a military. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that. Isn't that illegal to fly over a military base? Whatever. Opening up the ERS. Fernando Alonso up ahead. Alonso versus Alonso. Brilliant cornering there. That felt great when I was driving it at the time. DRS open right about now. Not using any ERS, trying to be conservative with that. I have drained quite a number quite a percentage of the ERS already. Just losing a bit of ground there on the exit, because I would have just ran straight into the back of his Aston Martin. ERS deployed right now. It's really close. He's going really slowly. We're at 333 kilometers per hour. Going to the final corner. Yes, we are ahead of Fernando Alonso, who is also on the medium compound tires. Now, looking at his onboard, what can he do? He has DRS, but he doesn't have... He's not utilizing his ERS. You can see from the heads-up display in his steering wheel. I had to run slightly wide there to avoid making contact with his wheel. I think that caused us to lose a bit of ground on Paris. I just realized me and Alonso are using the same compound tires. We're both on the mediums. I lost 2/10 to Perez in this lap. This is not going well. This is, yeah, being in a battle with these lot are causing me to lose ground in winning the race. Okay, this is good. At least I will have DRS on the corner exit. I think Alonso won't have, because he was slightly ahead of Charles Leclerc. Look at that pile up there on the replay, on the TV cam. Leclerc looks for an opportunity on the outside. It's 3 wide going into turn 1. I pushed Leclerc slightly wide. He has to cut the corner. As you can see, I get a warning for colliding with Leclerc. But yeah, Verstappen is now in P3. Leclerc loses a spot. No, actually, he remains in P4. Alonso loses 2 positions. And I think right about now is when I'm starting to pull away from the battle. And right now we're on Max Verstappen with DRS, so he's gonna be able to defend from Leclerc pretty easily. He actually gets quite close to me, but not close enough to make a move. Never mind, it's actually way too close for comfort. Time to pull out some Fernando Alonso Imola defense on Max Verstappen. Yes, it does work. It's time for me, though, to close the door down the inside. Make Charles Leclerc, come on, get past Verstappen, have a battle. I have to get Checo Perez. Never mind. No, I'm gonna push you slightly wide here. You know, that was a clean defense. If both drivers run wide, that's dirty. But if one of them run wide, it's not dirty. That's my driving philosophy. Now, on the final stretch, on the back straight, we have seen this straight so many times in this video because that's where all the battles are happening. Leclerc round the outside of Verstappen. No, it doesn't work. It's going to be a drag race to the end. I think both of them do have DRS because they're right behind me. And now it's time for me to try and catch Checo by 1 second per lap. That's impossible. We have lost. We're not going to win the race. Alonso gets past Leclerc. Where did you come from? Medium tires. And nope, Leclerc gets past back Fernando Alonso. And it's now a fight for P3. So from P3 to P8, they're in the battle for the last podium spot. Here's Alex Albon getting the final points position away from Zhou Guanyu. Unless Zhou will be able to put up a good defense. Yes, he does in his Sauber. And just looking up ahead, Leclerc will get a chance to get P3 away from Max Verstappen. Yes, he does. Going into turn 2. Not quite just yet on the exit, but will he be able to get him to turn 4? No. He's going to have to wait for the next DRS zone to get past Verstappen. And here we are on the following DRS zone. Time for Leclerc to attempt his next move on Max Verstappen. DRS wide open. I don't know if he's utilizing his battery. He finds the inside Verstappen. He didn't react to that on time to defend that. It seems like Russell is also getting past Fernando Alonso. No, Alonso keeps P5. And right there, Alex Albon has finally gotten ahead of Zhou Guanyu. After not scoring points the entirety of the 2022 season, he will score points in the first race of 2023. That's actually a great comeback. But will Logan Sargent score any points this season? Well, I'm not sure either. So yes, Albon in the top 10, making the last points position. And now Leclerc, lap 24, the penultimate lap, going on to the final lap. This is the battle to see who will get the final podium spot. It looks like it's going to be Charles Leclerc right now. He gets past Max Verstappen, and if you're paying attention to the gaps in the leaderboard, I have actually gained a second on Checo on the past 2 laps, but that's not going to last long. Leclerc with a DRS now, around the outside of Max Verstappen. And this is not great because if you watch the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, you know that DRS is really crucial in the final sector. So being ahead is always not, track position is always not the best. And Norris gets overtaken by Fernando Alonso. He's probably going to get past Alonso anyways. And now looking back to me, around this point, yeah, I was kind of checked out at this point. The tires already were falling off a cliff. It's impossible to gain 2 seconds in 1 lap. So I'll settle with P2. As I say that, Verstappen gets past Charles Leclerc. So Leclerc loses track position, which is okay. Never mind, he gets back track position. You're not supposed to have track position in Jeddah. And yes, as I predicted, Lando Norris gets past Fernando Alonso. And now it's gonna be a drag race to the back straight. Oh, this will decide who gets DRS going to the back straight. It looks like Leclerc loses track position. It's now Verstappen at the disadvantage. Now we are going to see who will get the final podium spot. George Russell is coming in really rapidly. Verstappen closes the door on Leclerc. Leclerc can go on the outside because George Russell's on the outside. Who's ahead on the exit of the final corner? It is still Max Verstappen, as we're gonna cross the line in P2. But looking behind, Russell finishes ahead of Verstappen. But since I crossed the line first, Verstappen finishes in P3. And just like in F122, the same thing happened, but instead of Russell and Verstappen, it was Sainz and Perez. Wow. And the same thing from F122, Verstappen got driver of the race, and he's driver of the race here too. Driver of the day, I mean. Wow. Okay.
And that brings the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix to a close as we reflect on the team's impressive performance today. And talk to me. What do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sports that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
So P2, I definitely could have won that race, but I was involved in quite a few number of battles. So yeah, P2 it is. Joe Guan Yu P11. It's a shame for Lewis Hamilton, who definitely would have won the race if it wasn't for the reliability issues. We shouldn't have problems with that in Australia, as I am going to upgrade the reliability like mad. Oscar Piastri P8, okay stuff. Fernando Alonso P12. Charles Leclerc there, really unlucky in the final lap. Verstappen closing the door on him, and George Russell got robbed. Okay, so we're gonna look at the standings right now. They removed the increased position in the standings. Why? But okay, I move up to P6. I think I was last, and Lewis Hamilton drops from P8 to P9. Why did you remove the position change indicator? Why would you remove that? That really doesn't make any sense. But here's the standings, and here's the constructors. Red Bull are clear of the field, just like real life. So thank you for watching. In the next video, well, I have 2 videos in mind. Obviously the Australian Grand Prix and a more casual video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.